Ahsoka, the 5th episode. Rosario Dawson is a good actress. She's being a little bland in this for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe that's what Ahsoka was like. I never really watched the cartoon. But I'm getting a little blandness from her. But, I mean, it's Star Wars, and you gotta dig Star Wars, right? So, in this episode, she meets Anakin before the whole deep breathing Darth Vader thing, and he's teaching her, I guess. He's trying to make her realize something. He's in like this shadow dimension where he comes forth and he's like, hey man, stuff you gotta know. And he's teaching her. Now I don't know if he's time traveled from the past or if this was all in her mind or if he was a force ghost or if because they're doing kind of a multiversal, different dimension, multi-dimension type thing, if he's just from elsewhere. I don't know. But he shows up and he talks to her. And then they take you back to the Clone Wars. Again, I didn't watch the cartoon. I only know it because she said it was the Clone Wars. And most of this episode, almost all of this episode is about her realizing something. They don't tell you what she realizes. They don't tell you what she's learned. They just say she's learned something, man. Anakin taught her something. And then they jump inside one of those giant space whales and they take off. I wouldn't have gotten that thing, man. But, you know, she's a Jedi, so I guess it's okay. This episode was supposed to be like the turning point for the show, going from an okay show to a spectacular show. It didn't do that for me. It was just another episode. Maybe that was their fanfare to get you to look, man, you know, and it got me. I looked, I wanted to see what was going to happen, but it wasn't awe-inspiring. It was just, oh, okay, it's another episode. They could have just played it. Honestly, they could have just smushed all of this together and made a couple-hour movie, and it would have hit me the same way, I think. It's an okay series. I'm hoping that they're doing this to build to something bigger. I mean, because the big bad's supposed to be Thrawn, right? Admiral Thrawn's supposed to be coming here and wreck the universe. Haven't even seen that dude yet. Man, it's already the 5th episode is over with. They only got 3 more episodes, so the next episode he's got to come back. They've got to be like, oh, it's Thrawn. And then he's got a next episode after that. I guess he's going to be like, I'm the big bad. Look what I've done. I've done something horrible. I don't even know what he's leading up to. He's got to do something horrible. And then the final episode, they either have to stop him or it's going to show that he's winning and they've got to continue on to another season. So, I don't know, man. I don't know. And they destroyed the little orb so no one can follow him. But can they actually get back? I don't know. What's Thrawn been doing out there, man? It's been like 10 years. He's just been floating in space or hanging out on some planet with a Jedi. You know, that reminds me of a show I saw a long time ago called Enemy Mine with Dennis Quaid in it. And in that movie, 2 enemies land on a planet together, and at first they want to kill each other, but then in order to survive they had to rely on each other. It reminds me of, you know, Kong Skull Island. Japanese soldier, American soldier, they land there. First they want to kill each other, but Kong shows up. In order to survive, they had to rely on each other. There's a lot of movies like that, and it seems like Thrawn and Ezra, 2 guys that were enemies, would have to have become allies in order to survive. So they're probably buddies when they get there. And maybe Thrawn is leaning a little bit more towards Ezra's side, and he's not gonna like this Night Witch coming up there super tripping. Or maybe Ezra's leaning a little bit more to Thrawn's side, and he's like, they're partners. I can't say he'd be his Padawan because one of them's a Jedi, one of them's not. But I don't know. It's interesting. I'm more interested in what happens when they find Thrawn than I was in this episode when they reintroduced Anakin. And that's what I'm thinking about that. And as a matter of fact, that's all I have to say about that. Now that we had a chance to talk, let's talk about it some more in the comments. And as always, if you like the video, if you like the content, subscribe. But before you like, I'm going to give this episode, this season so far, 6 bags of popcorn. 6 bags of popcorn. Because that's what I think about that. And more importantly, what do you think about that? Now, you can like.
Popcorn passport.